This is Deborah Atkinson, and you're listening to the Voice for Fitness Professionals podcast, where I make marketing and sales easier, effortless, even fun, so you can have the freedom and the flexibility you want while you're changing lives. Today, my guest is Tom Durkin, who is from the Midwest, one of the most conservative, I think, business places where you could begin a fitness business and agency. And we'll talk a little bit about his experience, but that's almost spanning now 40 years. So Tom, please correct me. And thanks for being here. And listeners, I want to tell you why. He's opening 2 new buildings within the next 6 weeks. So I hope I didn't just put you in pain by reminding you, but thanks so much for taking the time.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. And I mean, this is important stuff. And I wish, when I was younger, they had podcasts like this when I was early in my fitness career. This would have been really, really helpful and saved me a lot of pitfalls.
All right. So what we're going to hope that we do for you listening is actually tap into Tom's experience. And the way it usually works is tap into mistakes and say, what I wish I would have done. But let's talk about this. So literally, what year was it when you first got into the fitness industry?
38 years ago. It's been 38 years. So what's that?
Before cell phones, before internet was mainstream, before a lot of things, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I first got into it, it was primarily the typical gym, the weights, and it was typically guys. And so, I mean, it's really, completely expanded, completely changed in my work experience. And so I've worked through most of it, but yeah, it was 38 years ago.
So let's say this. So I'm just going to assume, big mistake, I know sometimes, but staying in it for 38 years, you're an anomaly. I mean, there are a lot of people who've started, stopped, quit, gone bankrupt. Not so many who've been successful for 38 years and made a living, a pretty good living, and provided a place for a lot of other people to have a living doing what they love. So opening 2 new buildings in this next 6 weeks, I mean, I would have to look at you and say one of 2 things. Are you nuts? Or the other one would be, you're still passionate about this, but what's changed about these buildings?
Well, here's the buildings I need to do. I mean, I think I had an old building that was 40 years old that I sold, and it was just a substandard facility, and I wanted to upgrade the facility. But the reason I'm opening 2 new buildings within the next 6 or 7 weeks at my advanced stage after 38 years is fitness has never been stronger. In my lifetime, fitness has never been this strong. I've never had so many people interested in all ages, 20 to 120. I've never had our phone has never rang so much. I've never had so many people interested in personal training. I've never had so many people interested in classes, ever. And so, I wanted to continue that growth. And so that's one of the reasons is that, I wanted to get these 2 new buildings open. And fitness is really, really strong. And, it's in every newspaper across the country. Every day they're talking about exercise, obesity, and your food intake, and so so if you're a young professional and you're getting into the fitness industry, I think your career and the opportunity for having a great career is there. Now, whether you take it or not, that's another thing, but the opportunity is definitely there.
Amazing. Awesome. So let's clarify for our listeners in the audience, because there are so many options, that you have how many facilities, physical plants?
I have 7 fitness facilities, 7 buildings.
Okay. And we're literally talking every one of those is what I would call, hopefully correctly, and let me know if you disagree, but a full service fitness facility. So you have a lot of choices, a lot of amenities,
Right.
pools in some, not in all, but you've got personal training, you've got group fitness, you've got the strength training equipment. What am I missing?
Well, we've got tracks, tennis courts, racquetball courts. We've had a wide variety of everything: saunas, steam rooms, nurseries, kids' gyms.
Okay.
We've got
And
a wide variety of facilities.
so listeners, that'll give you some perspective. We're talking about, it all under one roof, kind of a facility. But what's happened, 38 years ago, that was the norm. If there was such thing as a quote unquote gym in your community, that's what it was most often, or expanded from it being mostly dumbbells and weights to, then having more cardio and then group fitness classes and then. But now out there on the street and around the corner, there's a yoga studio. There is a small personal training closet or a boutique or studio. I mean, how has that changed for you, the way you build a facility, dedicate space? What's that done for you?
Oh, depends on what day you're asking me. So you're asking me today. I think the truth of this, it hurts, obviously, a little bit. And it hurts from a standpoint that if somebody goes into business that does not know what they're doing, they're going to go bankrupt. And that hurts me, even though I'm not going bankrupt, hopefully, because you put a black mark on the industry. And people are less likely to commit to it. I mean, people have a hard enough time committing to exercise, nutrition, and doing the right thing anyway. And so now they join a facility that's either got the wrong leadership, the wrong management, it's underfinanced, or the people running it are not trained, don't have enough experience in marketing or sales or programming. They don't know what they're doing. They put their life savings into it. They stay open for 18 months. They sell memberships, and then they close. Well, then the customer comes to you. Well, and he's got his, he's disenchanted with fitness altogether. And so I've got to win him back over. So from that standpoint, because a lot of them do close, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'll say 50% for this particular conversation. It's bad. On the flip side of the coin, it's good from a standpoint that it brings more people into the marketplace. And so, a lady sitting at home and she says, I should start doing something as far as exercise. My friend does something. And so she goes out and she starts shopping the marketplace. Well, if you've got a better staff, if you've got better program, if you think you do, if you've got better salespeople, if you've got better facilities, and she compares you to them, if you're better, you're going to win. So from that standpoint, it's a win because that little boutique, that little personal training studio, that little yoga guy, he is going to have to advertise. And he is going to bring people out of the woodwork. And if you can be there and provide a better answer, you're going to capture a percentage of those people. So there's pluses and minuses to it. Now, if you don't have that staff and you don't have that programming, then it's completely negative. The more competition there is out there, the more it muddies the water. So I would suggest to you, if you're going to do your thing, open your own facility, no matter what it is, no matter who your niche market is, make darn sure you're talking to someone, you know what you're getting into, you've got to mentor, because that'll make all the difference in the world. I think, Deborah, you and I have talked before, and I'm just trying to think through as I talk to you. We own 7 fitness centers right now. 5 of them I bought that went bankrupt, I think, or were on the verge of bankruptcy, that were takeovers because they couldn't do their deal. And I mean, from my standpoint, it was great. I got a great bargain. I was extremely excited. Mm-hmm. But from the guy that's going out the door, it's the worst thing he's ever done.
Yeah. So let's back up. So when you said, fitness has never been stronger, it's a great opportunity. And there is one, if you're starting your career, you also said kind of a disclaimer on the end of that, if you take advantage of it. Where are potentially some new emerging personal trainers? Where are they missing that piece, if you take advantage of it?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, where I'm talking today on the phone, I'm in a college community that graduates, I don't know how many kids every day out of an exercise science program. which is great. That gets you to the table. Okay, what's going to get you to the bank? What's going to move you up the ladder? Can you sell? Can you deliver your program? If you're just another trainer, or average will not cut it. I need no more average. We never sell one membership or any personal training or send anybody to a class and say, oh, the teacher's average. Can't wait for you to go see them. No one buys that. So what I'm saying is you can take advantage of the opportunity. There's more unfit people out there. There's more awareness of the importance of exercise, fitness, and disease. But they need home run hitters. And you get to home run hitting, get your education, but then get to mentor. Get someone, pay the money, get to mentor to move you forward. Because if you can't sell, if you can't market, I mean, and I'm just telling you just the truth, I don't know your name. You know the trainers I know? The guys that are full, they can sell. You know the people that I know that do group fitness? When the class is full. If you got average classes, you're an average trainer, no one wants you. No one needs you. So you got to move from average to good to great. And that takes work. And so that's why I think it's so important, Deborah, that, working with these young professionals, I mean, they need to know the truth. I mean, because I judge them in 30 days. We hire somebody, and I'm asking their boss, their personal training director, all the time. I think you probably heard this sentence. I think you and I've had this conversation, either fix her or get rid of her. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay. And what happened there? You fixed that person, and she went on to be very successful. But in my mind, that's how fast it takes. And if I see that, that's what the customer sees. And so that's what I'm saying. Take advantage of the opportunity to make sure that you've got someone that you're talking to, that you hire, that trains you, that helps you with these things, because that's really what the owner of these facilities are looking for.
Yeah, I love that. And I would ask you this question. So I've talked to another business colleague of mine, and we were just having this discussion the other day, a group of us, about, because there are so many people now in not just fitness, but I think our consumer is a victim, if you will, of what I call infobesity. There's so many choices. There's so many options out there. So we're not just competing with other personal trainers. If you're a trainer, you're competing with, the couch, right? You're competing with that and a beer and a pizza, but you're also competing with health coaches. You're competing with wellness coaches now. You're competing with doctors who have their own programs. There's a lot of competition out there. And so what do? Free YouTube videos, and that's competition. You have to stand out. So when you say, you can't be average, but I would say even if you're great, you need almost to be controversial. There has to be you've got to attract, but in doing that, you're probably also going to repel somebody. And if you're not, you don't have a distinct enough offering. What do you say to that?
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, you don't, there's so much advertising out there, and everybody puts the same. I mean, how many times have you heard the word boot camp? What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Too many.
It means nothing. Right. So you do have to be distinct. And and not everyone's going to buy your program, and that's okay. But I mean, you've got to be this committed. I mean, people say to me all the time, how did you stay in this for 38 years? Because I believe the choices you make every day, and by taking care of yourself, it's going to enhance your life. And I believe that to my core. That's not a sales pitch. And so, I mean, you've got to be so strong and want to, like you're saying, be great at what you do. And here's the really good news. If I was a young guy who's trying to get started here, there's not much greatness out there. There's very few people that are willing to commit, to put in the discipline, to put in the effort, to go the extra mile. So if you do commit to it, if you do make the decision that I want to be great, you're not going to have too much resistance. I mean, your friends may mock you a little bit, and the other trainers may look at you a little bit, but you're going to go past them so fast, it'll make their head swim. And so what I would say to you would be this, is that be strong in your programming, be strong in your marketing and sales, know how to approach people, know how to talk on the telephone, know how to write thank you cards, know how to walk up and shake hands, know how to talk to people. And I know you're thinking, you got to be kidding me. Who doesn't know how to shake hands? Well, I can line up about 50 personal trainers that are making somewhat of a living right now that would have difficulty with that. And we literally, I know that sounds crazy, we literally work on that in meetings, how to walk up and shake someone's hand. A lot of people don't know how to do that. They know how to text them, but they can't talk to them one-on-one. So, I mean, there's a multitude of things, but you do need to be unique, and you've got to be committed, and you've got to be driven.
Okay, let me ask you this question. So you literally are planning the space, the square footage, building buildings, dedicating, okay, this is our personal training space, this is our yoga space, this is our weight training space. That's important. Which is more important? So when you look at the business, you've got programming, you've got the people, the staff, and you've got the place, which is twofold. I think we talk always, right? Location, 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 but also, I mean, the plant. I mean, when you walk in the door, what's the wow factor? Is there one of those that's most important? Or how do you look at them? Which one?
Okay. Yeah, the home run either today, tomorrow, and the rest of your life is going to be the staff. I mean, look anywhere. Look at Disney. It's the people. Go anywhere. Look at Starbucks. Are those pretty nice? It's the people. It's the people, it's the people, it's the people. If you've got great programming and average staff, you lose. If you've got great facilities and average staff, you lose. But if you've got an average facility or average program and tremendous staff, you're going to win. This is a people business. People come in here, they want to connect. Anybody can buy a treadmill, anybody can put a pool in their back, anybody can do that. What you're looking for is the staff. The training, the attitude, the demeanor, the consistency of having that staff be able to do things over and over. And a lot of it is boring stuff. Picking up the phone and calling people on the phone is not very exciting. But learning that skill set makes the difference between your paycheck being average to way above average. And, nice facilities are great. Don't get me wrong. I'm building them. I would not build them if I didn't have the people. The bank does not bet on the facility. The bank says, who's going to run it? It's the people. So I spend a lot of time talking to our staff. And I'm telling you, it's a day, every single day, you got to do it. And so if you're a young professional and you want to make a difference in fitness, you want to make a difference in your life financially, or you want to make a difference in the world. In my world, I want to make a difference in the world. I want to make my world healthier. Well, I can only do so much. I work a lot, but I only can do so much. But if you can have people that share your same vision and have skill set as far as sales and advertising and marketing and follow-up skills and programming, and that's what's going to make the difference. Because still to this day, there's so much advertising out there, there's social media. Deborah, you can attest to this. I'm not just exactly sure what works some days and what doesn't work. However, every single time I bump into a customer and they say, I worked with so-and-so, she's wonderful. They've never said to me, oh, great ad. That ad really made a difference in my life. Oh, I met so-and-so at the front desk. She's wonderful. Oh, I saw your cleaning person the other day and they helped me carry my kid to the car. What a wonderful. They always talk about the staff. So your staffing, to me, the long answer to a short question is the staff.
Got it. Okay. So that said, actually, I'm going to ask you a tough question, and you almost led right into it. So it's really your fault if it's too tough. Okay. So my question is, you still advertise quite a bit, right? There's got to be a big advertising budget. What do you do in your advertising to emphasize the people and the staff over the program and the facilities?
Not enough.
I know somebody you could talk to.
Yeah, I'm talking to her, aren't I? Yeah. Yeah. There's no question. I mean, a little bit, that's 100% true. to at this point, we need, to keep the lights on and to keep paying the bills, we need lots and lots of members. And so a lot of our advertising is general advertising, top of the mind awareness stuff. And so we don't get into individual staff people or performers. Once they get in the building, Deborah, a lot of times it doesn't take very long. Good news travels fast, bad news travels faster. But so you come to a facility and you see a class that's really popular, and maybe your friend or someone's in that class, and you say to them, hey, why do you like that class? And they say, the teacher is great. No one ever says, the floor feels good. And so you're all right. We don't advertise as far as for individual staff. We do general advertising as far as, join today and get this or get the summer free, or we do general advertising to draw people into the building. And we hope then that our staff will take over. But if you're a smaller boutique type place, you're 2,000 square feet or something, then you are the business. I mean, we've got hundreds of treadmills and hundreds of bikes, and, we've got a lot. We run, hundreds of classes every single week. And so we offer quite a few things. But if you're a smaller facility, the only thing that's going to make you separated from the next guy is your skill set. And so that's why, it is so important, you guys, that, if you're just getting started, that you surround yourself with people that can give you the right information. And if they have not worked in the fitness industry, I would find someone, like Deborah, for instance, that's been in it. She's been through the wars, and I'm not saying this just because I'm talking to her. She's been through the wars. We worked together, and I expect a lot. We give a lot, we expect a lot. And she took a program in personal training in the Midwest in a really conservative area and put up massive numbers. And the population base didn't change in her town. What changed was she trained the staff. Did they all like it? Absolutely not. Did some of them quit? Absolutely. Did someone get let go? Absolutely. And guess who wins? Everybody. The people that got let go or quit should quit and should be let go. That's good news for them. They need to realize that, hey, if you're going to be successful in the world, you got to get better. Our customers expected better trainers. Our customers expected better customer service. And that's what you gave them. So, anyway, I would just strongly recommend to everyone who listens to this to make sure that you've got a mentor who's explaining this to you, and the nuts and bolts of it. Because when someone comes in for a job, I barely look at the resume, because I figure most of that stuff is made up or it's embellished. I sit down and talk to them. I ask them 3 or 4 questions, and I see what kind of eye contact they make. I see how they shake hands. I go, sell me something. And when their face turns red and they hem and haw and stutter, and I'm thinking, a lot of training here. So if you've got that in your back pocket and you can come on with confidence and with some skill set and some ability, oh my God, you go to the head of the class.
Okay, so let me ask you this. With 38 years under your belt,
Yep.
What has been, and is it the same or different? What's the biggest challenge?
Biggest challenges?
You may have hinted. Yeah. What's the biggest challenge still day to day to be successful?
Just so you and I, I think most people's value systems are out of whack a little bit. They say the right things. They may even read the right book, but they value partying or sleep over work. And in the fitness business, there's a lot of hours. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a good time and you shouldn't take time off. I'm saying when you get started, my biggest challenge is this. You're not hungry enough. And I can't give you hunger. I can't give you desire. I don't know where you want to go. I don't know what you want to do, but you do. Well, set that mark. And then put all your energy and effort into it. And so, the answer to your question is of training of the people, the training of the staff. Our most important asset is the staff, and training them on a daily, regular basis. There's not been a day goes in the last 38 years when a phone call has not come into one of our buildings when I did not think the person at the front desk could have did a better job on handling that. When I walk through these buildings and see a personal trainer working with a customer, I think, why is that trainer doing this? When I walk every single day. And so I'm working on it, and I'm saying, I'm trying to get better. But then all of a sudden, you'll bump into someone who is self-disciplined and self-motivated, a staff person, and they just shine. And those are usually the ones that go out and start their own facilities, their own gyms, because they get a following, and they're willing to put in the time, they're willing to put in the effort, they're willing to do the extras. I mean, it's called self-discipline for a reason. I mean, self is the first word. You're taking care of yourself. That's great. So that's been my biggest challenge the last 3 to 8 years is trying to get everybody on the same page. And, when you hire as many people as we do, 330 employees, I mean, you're going to have a certain percentage that are just here for a paycheck. You're going to have a certain percentage that just mail it in. And I get that. But that's my job to not bring them in here. Because my customer that comes in here, who's 50 or 60 pounds overweight, just got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or this, that, and the other thing, they're looking for a bridge and someone to get them across the bridge to save their life. And this guy's mailing in for a check. That's on me. And so that is frustrating. And I got to do a better job at it. And I got to work harder at it. And I got to pay more attention. And that's what I'm trying to do. But if I had one thing that I could, if I would have been better at that, I think I would have helped more people.
Well, thanks so much. I know you've got 7 facilities you got to be in and out of today, and you have 2 brand new ones. So thanks so much for taking the time to be here. And fitness professionals, if there's a question that I didn't ask, that since very rarely do you get access to somebody who has been successful and not just an owner, but an operating owner in and out on his feet inside of every building every day for 38 years. It's a rare opportunity. So if you have a question, leave it below the show link at fitnessmarketingmastery.com and I will get you the answer. For all the links, resources, and juicy tools mentioned in this or any episode, go to fitnessmarketingmastery.com and the podcast tab and make a difference while you're making a living and making a life for yourself.